Vlad the Impaler. The real story behind the legend of Dracula. Vlad III, often called Vlad the Impaler and sometimes known as Vlad Dracul, is the historical figure who inspired the character of Count Dracula in Bram Stoker's novel. But while most are familiar with the vampire myth, today we're focusing on the real man behind the legend. Vlad III was Voivode of Wallachia, a title similar to Prince, during 3 different periods until his death in either 1476 or 1477. But why was he called the Impaler? This method of execution had been used long before in ancient times. Vlad III earned his notorious nickname, the Impaler, due to his preferred method of punishing his enemies, impalement. This brutal form of execution involved driving a sharp stake through the victim's body. Vlad became infamous for using this method extensively during his rule, especially in his campaigns against the Ottoman Empire. After being orphaned, exiled and betrayed, Vlad reclaimed the throne of Wallachia in 1456. Once in power, he ruthlessly dealt with his adversaries, particularly those who had betrayed his family or benefited from Wallachia's hardships. His reign became synonymous with harsh punishments. Those who disobeyed or opposed him, whether peasants, nobles or foreign invaders, faced the stake. His tactics were eventually extended to Saxon settlers, rival clans and criminals within his territories. In the famous night attack of 1462, Vlad launched a surprise assault on the Ottoman camp in an attempt to kill Sultan Mehmed II. Though the assassination attempt failed, Vlad left a chilling message for the Ottomans as they retreated. A forest of some 20,000 impaled corpses lining the road to Targovist, his capital. The horror of the scene reportedly forced Mehmed II to retreat back to Constantinople, abandoning further attempts to capture Wallachia. It is even rumoured that Vlad would dip his bread into the blood of his impaled victims, though this could be legendary. Maybe that's why, later, he was known as the vampire. Hey! Before we continue, we'd like to ask for your help. Just click to subscribe to the channel so we can keep creating content for you. It's free and makes a huge difference. And don't forget to give this video a like and share it with friends. Thank you. Beneath Vlad's fearsome reputation as a cruel ruler lay a fierce defender of the Christian faith. Born in 1431, he was the son of Vlad II Dracul, a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order dedicated to defending Christian Europe from the advancing Ottoman Empire. As a child, Vlad was held hostage by the Ottomans, which only deepened his hatred for the empire. Upon his return to Wallachia, he inherited his father's mission to protect Christendom. Vlad believed that his violent methods were necessary to safeguard his people from the Islamic threat posed by the Ottomans, and his campaigns were as much about defending his faith as they were about maintaining his rule. Outnumbered and facing a powerful Ottoman army, Vlad adopted unconventional military strategies to protect his homeland. He used scorched earth tactics, psychological warfare and night raids to weaken his enemies. His most famous feat came during the aforementioned 1462 night attack, where he attempted to assassinate Sultan Mehmed II. Although he didn't succeed in killing the Sultan, the daring raid threw the Ottoman forces into disarray. Vlad's use of impalement, while brutal, was a calculated strategy designed to instill fear. He knew that he couldn't defeat the Ottomans in direct combat, so he turned terror into a weapon. By impaling thousands of Ottoman soldiers, he sent a chilling message to his enemies, one that led them to hesitate before invading Wallachia again. When Mehmed II marched towards Targovist in 1462, he was met with the horrifying sight of 20,000 impaled bodies. This gruesome display was enough to force the Sultan to turn back, effectively saving Wallachia from complete conquest. Despite his violent methods, Vlad the Impaler saw himself as a devout Christian leader. He supported the Orthodox Church, built monasteries, and viewed his rule as a divine mission to defend Christendom. His harsh actions, though controversial, were rooted in his belief that preserving the faith required strength and sacrifice. Vlad is remembered today for his ruthlessness, but his people saw him as a protector, someone who defended his homeland and his faith against overwhelming odds. While the stories of his brutality have overshadowed much of his legacy, it's important to remember that he fought not for personal glory, but to preserve the Christian identity of his land. Vlad the Impaler's story is one of contradictions, a man who was feared by his enemies and revered by his people. His actions were brutal, yet they were driven by a sense of duty to protect his country from foreign invaders. As we reflect on Vlad's life, it's crucial to see him in the context of his time, a time when survival often demanded extreme measures. While his methods may seem monstrous, Vlad was ultimately fighting to preserve human life, protecting his people from annihilation. Now it's your turn. Do you think Vlad III was a misunderstood leader or a ruthless impaler? Share your thoughts in the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. Stay tuned.